credit to the North American Soccer League that no championship team has repeated that feat. Such competition brings out the fans in increasing numbers every year. Gone are the days when it was thought soccer would be an automatic success in North America simply because of its position in the rest of the world. The NASL, through its draft and scouting systems, is bringing more native-born players into the league. This in turn results in more native fans. Native-born players like Kyle Rote, drafted by Dallas. It's a plus for the NASL that Rote, who possesses a famous sports name in America, made Dallas his first choice. Blending with the native players are imports like Dallas star Ilya Mitic. The incredible Philadelphia Atoms were the 1973 North American Soccer League champions by virtue of their brilliant 2-0 victory over the Dallas Tornado in Texas Stadium. With only grim determination and past league history in their favor, the Atoms overcame the loss of their potent scoring duo and the home team encouragement of a record NASL playoff crowd to climax a Cinderella season for Tom McCloskey's expansion franchise. One of the reasons for Philadelphia's amazing success was goalkeeper Bob Rigby, a rookie out of East Stroudsburg College who recorded the lowest goals against average in league history. With the victory, the Atoms became the 7th NASL champion in as many years, and Philadelphia's first professional sports champion since 1960. Faced with the loss of their two principal scorers, Jim Friant and Andy Proven, Atoms coach Al Miller was forced to play American rookies Bill Straub and Charlie Ducilli in their places. With 6 Americans in their starting lineup, the Atoms dominated throughout. Their first goal came as a direct result of that pressure. 20 minutes into the second half, Roy Evans' free kick was accidentally deflected into his own goal by Dallas defender John Best. Bill Straub was an All-American at the University of Pennsylvania and hadn't played for the Atoms since he was acquired from Montreal 6 hours before the trading deadline. He responded by scoring the insurance goal on a superb header with less than 5 minutes remaining. It was only his second goal of the season, both of which came against Dallas. The Philadelphia Atoms have good reason to be jubilant. They were the North American Soccer League's only expansion team in 1973. And yet here, less than 8 months later, they revel in victory. They played their very first game only 115 days earlier. Their record since then is monumental. 12 straight games without a loss. Highest average attendance over 12,000. They allowed fewer goals than any other team, only 14, and shut out the opposition on no less than 7 occasions. With the presentation of the championship trophy by League Commissioner Phil Woosnam, the Atoms' greatest dream is finally realized. It was the happy result of a dedicated and positive-thinking man, owner Thomas D. McCloskey. The North American Soccer League is now sharing facilities with Major League Baseball and football teams, another indication of the growth of soccer and the security of its future. It's now Major League in practice as well as thought, moving into some of the best stadiums in North America. St. Louis. Bush Memorial Stadium. One of the most familiar sports facilities on the continent, the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Varsity Stadium in Toronto, one of the best stadiums anywhere to watch soccer. And Veterans Stadium, Philadelphia, where opening day for the Adams took place in early May. Who would believe this new untried expansion team would take the league championship? Owner McCloskey felt that way. NASL Commissioner Phil Woosnam was hopeful. Civic dignitaries were confident. As part of his plan to Americanize his team, owner McCloskey sought out an American coach. Al Miller filled that request. Coaches like Miller and Dallas coach Ron Newman have many stars on their rosters. Mike Siri, a rookie standout, Miami. George O'Neill of Philadelphia. Metro All-Star Ian McPhee, MVP 72 Randy Horton, New York. Willie Watson, Miami. Philadelphia's Bobby Smith. 1972 rookie goalie Mike Witter of St. Louis. Tony Lecce and Toronto teammates. Casey Frankowitz in conversation with new St. Louis coach John Sewell. Philadelphia's Barry Bartow, teammate of Andy Probin, the Flea, named to the first All-Star team. Roberta Aguirre, Miami. George Siega, New York. All-Star Brian Rowan, Toronto. MVP Warren Archibald, Miami. Pat McBride of St. Louis and Ghana's Yao Cam Cam. Jim Fried, Philadelphia All-Star. Derek Trevis. And Adams coach Al Miller. Joining the Philadelphia Adams as past champions of the NASL are Rochester Lancers, New York Cosmos, and Dallas Tornado. Toronto Metros, a hotbed for soccer, are so close to championship success, however, it makes other clubs shudder. St. Louis have tasted near victory for a championship, second only to New York in 1972. Their homebrew talent could spell the difference. Rochester Lancers last won the championship in 1970. Led by the league's all-time scoring leader Carlos Matatieri. This keen competition for top positions in their divisions, coupled with forthcoming expansion, has resulted in increased record attendance figures. The Philadelphia Adams, as might be expected, led the way in the attendance figures, followed by Dallas Tornado, Miami Toros, and New York Cosmos, each drawing all-time high record crowds for their home games. These increased figures are indicative of the dramatic impact of the Native American and Canadian players and the intense competition between clubs that have made the 1973 season the most successful in the league's history. Commissioner Phil Woosnam points out, soccer is now accepted as a major sport in North America. Soccer at this current high professional level is fast becoming a pastime of enormous entertainment for crowds of all ages.
Witness these pregame ceremonies at Philadelphia's Veterans Stadium. The same is true in St. Louis. Here in the Midwest of the United States, soccer is grasping hold of a large and dedicated following. Minor development leagues and a love of the sport abound. The ultimate responsibility of attacking players is to score goals like this. To do so, one must have agility, instinct, determination, the moves of a cat, the strength of a weightlifter, stamina of a long-distance runner, the finesse of a surgeon, and the talent of a ballerina. This is what soccer is all about. Enthusiasm, anticipation, and ultimate execution. Each year, the North American Soccer League, in addition to its regular season games, brings top foreign teams to our shores, as happened in Toronto when the Metros hosted Moscow Torpedo, and in Miami, Pele from Brazil, the greatest soccer player the world has ever seen. These international matches are unpredictable, and the crowds love it. The Soviets proved themselves more than able to control the ball and gave the fans some exciting, if not anxious, moments. And in Miami, Pele and his Santos of Brazil team were giving concern in the early moments against the Miami Toros. But Toros speedster and league most valuable player of 1973, Warren Archibald, is stopped just short of scoring. Santos' vast experience of international competition told on the younger Toros. And only courageous goalkeeping by Ruben Montoya kept Miami in the game. But Santos kept up their relentless pressure. As agile as the Torpedo side was, however, this night in Toronto they couldn't handle the Metros, and the visitors left the stadium suffering a 3-1 loss. The crowd in Miami, in excess of 20,000, came to see Pele, and the famous number 10 responded as expected. A A spectacular header by Toronto's Terry Harkin scored his team's second goal of the game and wiped out any hope Moscow had of catching Toronto. This ambitious Brazilian puts the ball, then himself in the goal, as Santos takes an insurmountable lead over Miami. With Toronto leading 2-0, Moscow served notice that they weren't finished yet.
These international matches serve a dual purpose. Not only do they afford United States and Canadian soccer fans the opportunity of seeing some of the world's best teams, they also give the native-born players in the NASL the experience of playing against top-caliber opposition. But of more importance was the League Championship Series, and the semifinals got underway in Philadelphia with the Philadelphia Atoms playing host to Toronto Metros. Andy the Flea Proban got the Atoms title hope started in the first half when he bounced an 8-yarder past Toronto's goalie Dick Howard after a beautiful pass from fullback Bob Smith. Jim Fryatt, fouled by Toronto's Quint Semedo, assured the victory with a penalty shot early in the second half. A short time later, Carl Miner wrapped it up with his first goal of the playoffs. The Philadelphia Atoms 3, Toronto Metros 0, and the Atoms march into the championship game to meet the winner of the other semifinal between Dallas Tornado and St. Louis Stars. As is so often the case, the game of soccer is one of inches. And Mike Renshaw's shot off Ralph Wright here hit the crossbar. But it was an indication of things to come. Dallas threatens again as Rhodes slides the ball just wide of the goal.
There's no mistake this time, however, as Dallas attacker Mike Renshaw chips the ball over New York goalkeeper Soulars, and the league scoring champion Kyle Rote heads it in. Dallas 1, New York 0. Following the lone Dallas goal, both teams came close, with the Tornado holding on in the final minutes. A rebound shot by the Comos' Len Rennery hit the underside of the crossbar.
But the 1-0 Dallas win here wasn't enough to push the Tornado through the final championship game against Philadelphia. Despite a hometown crowd of nearly 19,000, the Tornado lost 2-0, and owner Tom McCluskey, with his Americanized Atoms, pulled off the impossible. In their first year of operation, they captured the 1973 championship of the North American Soccer League.